And there's a distinction here. I'm offensive coaches tend to be more aggressive on like fourth down than defensive coaches, and the entire brand of Dan Campbell is going for it. What I didn't like about the move, because I don't think anybody thought there was going to be a blizzard. Maybe they did. What I didn't like about the move is even if you pick up the first down, you're at the 13-yard line. It's not like you got point. It'd be one thing if it was at the 1. So you go for it, and if you succeed, 14-0. That is worth the risk. But the play design was not a play design. They rolled him out. That was not a design for a touchdown. It was a design to get the first down. So even if it was successful, all right, you're at the 12-yard line, 13-yard line. So what? That doesn't guarantee anything. So I didn't think the risk was worth the reward with a backup quarterback. Again, Bo Nix, I would go for it. I would feel different about Bo Nix because Bo is so – Bo would, by the way, not have pulled up there. Bo would have beaten the edge rusher to the corner because Bo was so athletic and never takes sacks and never takes negative plays. So if you watch that play with Bo Nix, he would have moved outside of the defensive end. He's the most underrated athletic quarterback in the league, Bo Nix. He would have moved past the pass rush and then bought time or run for it. But that's not Stidham. Stidham's taller, less athletic. Again, just hasn't been in this spot very much. So I just didn't. What was the payoff? A first down? I'll go for it because remember, if you lead by 10 in a conference championship game at any point in the game, your chances of winning are 89%. And a lot of these analytic numbers I roll my eyes at, but I don't roll my eyes at taking a 10-point lead at home when the weather's not ideal. And the teams had to know that the weather was going to get worse. I don't know if they knew it was going to be that. But my guess is they knew it was going to get kind of bad. Coaches tend to be, very intense on weather. They're also superstitious. They know, Peyton knew the weather was turning. So here was Sean in the fourth down decision again.
Felt like, man, we had momentum to get up 14. It felt like we had a good call. I think the feeling was, man, let's be aggressive. There's always regrets, I felt like, here we are 4th and 1. We felt close enough that, and it's also a call you make based on the team you're playing and how what you're watching on the other side of the ball. So yeah, there'll always be second thoughts.
Yeah, I genuinely respect that he was willing to acknowledge that. Because you have plenty of other coaches in that exact scenario who would just stubbornly dig in, saying, this is our identity, we don't doubt ourselves, we don't second guess. That's the play we wanted, that's the decision we made. It's what we've preached all season. I'm not going to change who we are. Not Sean Payton. He essentially said, no, he knows. It probably wasn't the best move. Probably. The irony is, after the game, I discussed that exact decision and stated I hated the call. A bunch of people in the comments tore into me, saying things like, oh, I can't believe you're Monday morning quarterbacking this. Well, Sean Payton himself expressed regret over it. So it seems my assessment is aligned with the head coach's own reflection. But here's the real question. Did this specific mistake cost the Broncos the game? Yes, absolutely. Because I believe it also set in motion the butterfly effect that ultimately led to Jarrett Stidham's disastrous backward pass. It completely shifts the entire complexion of the contest. This is precisely what I was saying as it was unfolding. You have a chance to go up 10-0. That is massive, especially when you're operating with a backup quarterback. Let's break down the psychology of the scoreboard with a backup. If it's a one-score game, it almost feels like a tie. A tie with a backup quarterback feels like you're losing. If you're down by a single score with a backup, it feels like you're down 2 scores. If you're down by 10 points with a backup, it feels like you're being blown out. That's the reality. The reason is, you simply cannot have the same confidence in your ability to score and execute offensively with a backup as you do with your starter, Bo Nix. That's just the cold, hard truth. The final score was 10-7. It was incredibly tense, and I know people will point to other moments. Oh well, they missed a field goal, and then there was a blocked field goal. Yes, those things happen. The Patriots also missed a field goal. Those occurrences are part of football. What about the dropped passes? Yes, those happened too. They were bad. Yet, the critical point, the absolute key point, is that with better decision making at that pivotal juncture, you still win this game. You still win. You are always going to have some dropped passes. You will have a blocked kick, a missed field goal, a slip on the turf, or bad weather. But superior decision making can override those typical football misfortunes. That's what makes this loss so particularly difficult to stomach. If the decision making had been sound and you still lost due to a drop or a special teams error, you could at least rationalize it. Oh my God, if he just caught that ball, we win. That's frustrating, but it's a bit easier to accept because, from my viewpoint, I just know players aren't going to be perfect. I know it. It's a bummer, but it's the nature of the game. Ironically, one of the first times I truly internalized that lesson was watching the Eagles play Sean Payton's Saints in the playoffs the year after Philadelphia won the Super Bowl. Their star wide receiver dropped a pass that went right through his hands, it was intercepted, and the game ended just as the Eagles looked poised to score and win. I was devastated. But then you remember, that same player made a huge catch in the Super Bowl a year prior, and was a massive reason they won it all. You can't fault a player for not being perfect every single game, every single moment. They're human beings. So, watching this Broncos game, yes, I saw messy play. There was messy quarterback play, a rough throw here, a bad decision there, a dropped pass. Clearly not ideal. But yet, with better decision-making from the sideline, you still win this game. That is much harder for me to accept. Coaches used to tell me this all the time. I don't care if you make a physical mistake. I don't care if you make an error, as long as it's not a mental mistake. The mental mistakes are far more difficult to swallow. If you just miss a throw and it gets intercepted, that's one thing. But if you make a fundamentally poor strategic decision, then we need to have a serious conversation. You had a chance to go up 10-0 with a backup quarterback at home in the AFC Championship game. To me, opting not to take those 3 points is indefensible. Completely indefensible. I already shared a clip earlier today pushing back against anyone trying to downplay Bo Nix's importance to this team, and I'm going to discuss it again later. I won't rehash the entire argument, but I will say this. We can all stop pretending Bo Nix isn't super important to this Denver Broncos team. I know it upsets some Patriots fans, and I'm sorry, but I'm going to be consistent and tell the truth as I see it. To think that Bo Nix wouldn't have been the difference of at least 3 points in this game? I'm sorry, but you're delusional. Absolutely positively delusional. Someone tried to argue, oh, but the Patriots would have changed their game plan if Bo Nix was playing. Okay, whatever you say. I don't know what to tell you, man. Stop undervaluing and devaluing Bo Nix's importance to this team. Stop undercutting the man. Stop pretending like it doesn't matter. If the Patriots had rolled the Broncos, then we could have a different conversation. It's like when 49ers fans say, oh, if Brock Purdy didn't get injured. Well, the Eagles' defensive line was absolutely dominating in that NFC Championship game. They were swarming and knocking out multiple quarterbacks. So no, you can't just casually say, if Purdy played, we win. That's a much harder claim to sell. When the Patriots win 10-7 and your backup quarterback has a crucial fumble and throws a terrible interception, a throw where I'm thinking, I could make a better pass than that, or misses a moment where using his legs could have picked up a critical conversion. Yeah, it's incredibly difficult not to imagine that your starting quarterback, who has been awesome in every playoff game he's played, and yes, he is 2 for 2 in being awesome in the playoffs. He was awesome against the Buffalo Bills, even in a loss. Would have made a difference. To think there's no chance Bo Nix would have been awesome against the New England Patriots? You are delusional. If you doubt that, you are delusional. I don't know what else to tell you. So, it's a tough loss because even despite all of that, the backup quarterback, the drops, the weather, they still could have come away with the victory. And Sean Payton knows it. That's why he's gutted. He absolutely, positively knows it. There's no question. He knows it. But those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think about the Denver Broncos coming up short against the New England Patriots 10-7 in a game that was half decent weather and half, I don't even know what I was looking at? I still don't even know where they were on the field at times. Players were literally phasing in and out of existence in that snow. Just crazy. But let me know your perspectives. I read every single comment, so whether you agree with me or disagree with me, either way, let's get some discussions going. Let's get into some spirited fights. But ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We're building an amazing community here and would absolutely love to see you become part of it. I want to build something we all genuinely feel connected to, something we're really excited to be part of. I think we're well on our way. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. It really does help with visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much. I'll see you next time.